Trisha Choi is a seasoned healthcare leader with 25 years of experience driving patient experience, leadership coaching, and organizational transformation across top institutions like Duke, Cone Health, and New York Presbyterian. She's led large teams, coached executives, and implemented high impact programs that improved care and culture system wide. With a foundation in public relations and a master's in change leadership from Columbia, she blends strategic vision with a deep commitment to service and community building. Trisha, tell us about what you're up to.
Thank you, Dawn. So Bahay Kubo is my new venture, and what it stands for in Filipino, which is the roots. My parents are from the Philippines. I was born here. Is it's a home that is lightweight. It's made out of bamboo and leaves, and it's also a shelter either on a farm or at the beach that can be easily picked up by the community and moved to another part of the village. And so as I almost fell and got picked up, but on my seat. But so it's really important to build home within oneself so that this home can then be picked up and shared within the community. And this idea is that it is going to be a space within conferences of all industries where an executive can come away from the noise of the busy conference. Many of us are burnt out and tired of hearing the same messages. So they can come into this space and connect with themselves through a creative outlet. And that would be either finger painting or playing some instruments or even creating a pinch pot, maybe doing some silent disco or dancing, and then going back into the space of the conference and hearing something that they will then take back to their home organization where they spend more time than their own home sometimes and make truly transformational change. And hopefully it can be done in a truly creative way and not some boring PowerPoint. You know, as a healthcare executive myself, most of the organizations I was part of never even required me to come back and share the learning that I was so blessed to receive. And so it's that type of transformational change that Bahay Kubo is encouraging and is hoping to build a community around. I am a very big person involved in story sharing, I like to call it, not storytelling. So as a healthcare leader, I've been very vulnerable in my own story. And my history involves going to rehab at one point in my career. And I've been part of my career. And I think back to the time where my boss said to me that day when I told her I needed to go, she said, let's do it today. Let's teach who's going to be covering you for the 6 weeks or more that you're going to be out, because it's so important that we take care of ourselves. And I could still wrap my arms around her energetically with love because she did it in such a beautiful way. And there was no resistance, there was no judgment. And then I think about a boss that I had later on at another organization who said to me and the team, I need to share with you that I'm going through treatment for depression. And I would be very like two-faced if I didn't stand behind busting this stigma of mental illness. She said, I'm going to be taking medication for depression and it might change me. So I want you all to know. And that really propelled me into this space where I needed to be out about my own story. So I've told my story about having a diagnosis of what I like to call mental wellness. I was diagnosed at 19 with bipolar disorder, and yet I was able to be in my last role an assistant vice president of patient experience. And so I tell this story because as an executive, it's so important to take care of ourselves, but also what can we do to build community with others and to say, you're not alone. And it's important to take care of ourselves. And that's how I arrived at taking this step to creating my own business. And there was also a reduction in force in my role in healthcare. So it propelled me to do something different. I, as you heard Dawn say, have a background in public relations and marketing with a major cosmetic company. I then worked in restaurant startups. I was a celebrity assistant and also worked in healthcare to build a physical medicine and rehabilitation unit with my former boss. And then I went on to work in patient experience, was in charge of patient experience in emergency rooms across the system, and then was blessed to work as a patient experience executive where I coached a team of 4 managers that then had a combined team of 100. And I think it's really important to role model what I'm trying to share, which is authenticity and connection with self so that we can be well. And so Bahay Kubo really concentrates on corporate wellness events. I'm going to give you an example of what we've done so far. We hosted a International Women's Wellness Weekend in Oceanside, California, on the ocean with three women who were solo entrepreneurs and now have really flourished in their work since the event. We had the blessing of having Panta Avahidi there teach us her wellness model and her compassion model, and that was something that we all benefited from. I've hosted some wellness retreats with doctors and engineers to see how it changed the way they looked at their offering to their patients. And we are going to be hosting an event with grad students at a nearby academic medical center and their children. So we're having the children lead the way in how important it is to incorporate play and connection to self. So I invite you to take a look at our website. Someone asked me, can you leave me with a visual of what Bahay Kubo does? And it's on the website, but you can see a picture of executive making a snow angel. Could we be in touch with that person within and just play again and bring that back to the organizations that we work in? Unfortunately now, I live in North Carolina, and that snow angel could be replaced with a pollen angel because there's so much pollen on the ground. But whatever it is, to embrace the place in which you are. And I like that song from REM. I think it's called Stand in the Place Where You Are, and then make sure that you're actually able to connect within and then bring that with you for wherever you go. So I guess what I'd like to offer is how you might think that Bahay Kubo can help you or someone in your network. I've been reached out to recently by friends in the armed forces and saying, we really need this in the community of veterans. So if you have ideas like that, I'd like to offer our customizable package for you. And then also, I'd also just ask that you think of places where we could help. And I thank you so much for your time.
Trisha, I'm curious. Tell me a little bit, if you would, the background for what you've created.
So I can give you this example. A couple weeks ago, we were blessed to be invited to this first time ever Healing Through Music conference. And at the conference, we experienced different modalities. One of them was physical storytelling. Another of them was using our bodies for music. We would do percussion on our bodies. And then the third one was, I'm trying to remember, I actually walked away from it because the new puppy was on me and it got really hot, but it was actually this fascinating use of breathing and Tai Chi combination with Chinese medicine. And the one that struck me the most was the physical storytelling and how it has stayed with me and how I need to, as an executive, take back what I've learned to my team to truly energize them because they didn't get to go. And it costs anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for an executive to go to a conference. And not everybody is blessed to go to that. And my first healthcare organization allowed us to go to 2 conferences a year. And in the beginning of the 18 years I was there, we just went. Towards the end of the time that I was there, they said, you have to do a PowerPoint and share. I don't know that anybody could remember anything that I took back. But if I could have done it in this physical storytelling way and say, oh my goodness, this is how it hit me. And this is something we should do. And if I could really bring myself to work and not hide behind any veil and truly be myself, how many more of my colleagues and team members could I truly inspire?